Are you one of the millions of people who is asking yourself how all of this stuff that they're talking about in the news is going to impact you? Things like what's happening with the economy and what about the upcoming elections? And listen, yes, I'm in the US. This is a worldwide issue. It's going on all over the place. If you look at, what's happened with farmers and you look at what's happened with truckers and you look at what's happened with all sorts of different things around the world, not just here in the US, you might be one of those people who's thinking, how's this going to impact me? And if you are, listen in today because I want to give you some stuff that might actually blow your mind a little bit, okay? I want to dive in today. We're going to dive in today about what your self leadership looks like in this environment and how you get to make shifts. All right. I am Angela W. Stillwell. I am the CEO and founder of Untapped Strengths, and I work with individuals to transform them into top 1% leaders. And I work with teams to transform them into powerhouses. And that all comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes and formats. And if you're interested in that, just send me a DM and we'll get into it. But today, what I want to get into is I hear so many people who are operating from a place of fear. And listen, 98% of the population operates from a place of fear. You're not alone in that. In fact, at some point in time, I would say probably 100% of the population operates from a place of fear. But day to day, on average, 98% is making every decision in their life based on how their fears and their lives are influencing them. All right. So I promised at the beginning that I would talk about, how the economy and the elections and all these things that are going on, not just here in the US, but around the world might be impacting you and how that might be, bringing up some fears for you. Look, it's not a secret that a lot of people have the highest credit card debt ever. It's not a secret that people are having a hard time finding jobs. It's not a secret. And I know that people are hiring and all of that. And I know what else is going on, right? So whatever your situation is, whatever the fears are that might be keeping you up at night, might be uh, impacting your sleep or impacting your health or all sorts of things. I want to go over some things today to kind of give you some perspective on, all these numbers get thrown around regarding the economy and debt and all of that. And, people talk about being millionaires and billionaires and, all these numbers, and we hear them. And what do they mean? We don't really understand what they mean. And so we just kind of brush them aside and go about our day to day and continue operating as if nothing is going on. All right. Something's going on. And I want you to take note. All right. So let's get to the numbers. Let's talk about a million, a billion, and a trillion. We don't even have to initially talk about dollars. Okay. We're just going to talk about those numbers in and of themselves. So just for starters, a million has 6 zeros, right? A billion has 9 zeros. A trillion has 12 zeros. 12 zeros. Okay. And even that doesn't sound like a lot. So I pulled up something that I thought you might find of interest. So I'm going to look at this on my phone and share it with you. Okay. All right. So a million seconds is only 11.6 days. Okay. So a million seconds, we're just talking about, 60 seconds in a minute, right? All right. 60 minutes in an hour, right? 24 hours in a day. So a million seconds is 11.6 days. Okay. A billion seconds is 31.7 years. All right. You get that? A million seconds is only 11.6 days. A billion seconds is 31.7 years. This beginning to make impact? All right. So if a billion seconds is equal to 31.7 years, A trillion seconds is equal to 31,709 years. 31,709 years is a trillion seconds. That's just 1 trillion. All right. Let's equate that to dollars. When they're talking about debts of countries and what that might do to economies, does that put it in perspective for you? Yeah, just a little bit. When when I first heard this, I thought, "Holy cow, what the heck?" Because we just get so used to, you know, throwing out these billion, trillion numbers, etcetera, and it doesn't seem like much because they just get thrown around so easily now. I can remember back when the debt was in the billions. Now we're in the trillions. Somebody the other day was throwing around numbers like 32 trillion, 50 trillion, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, so then you multiply that 31,709 times 32 years. So now you're at what? That's 317,000 times 3. So 900 and, close to a million years. What? What? Oh my gosh, that is insane. So, all right. What does this mean for you? What is it? Why am I even bringing this up when I'm talking about self-leadership? I just hit a high pitch and it woke my dog up. So they may be walking in any second now. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for your self-leadership? Listen, if there's one thing that I know is there's no one coming to save you. There's no one coming to save you. They talk about all of these plans. They talk about all of these processes. They talk about all of this stuff that they're going to do for you, right? They're going to do these things for you to save you. They're not doing anything for you or to save you. You get to do this for yourself. Period. End of story. That's all there is to it. Yep, I told you they were going to come in and make an entrance. Say hi to the dogs. So no one's coming to save you. It is time for you to step in and take ownership of your own leadership. Period. End of story. Whatever that looks like, right? It's time for you to own your health so that you can operate in this environment. It's time for you to own your mental health. Get it cleaned up. Do what you need to do, right? Exercise, eat right, drink plenty of water. Get plenty of sleep. Speaking of water, I need some water. Excuse me. Get plenty of sleep. Do the things that you can do to reduce the stress in your life, the physical stress, the mental stress, the emotional stress. And sometimes that means saying no to things that historically you've said yes to. Sometimes that means pulling away from certain people that you've allowed yourself to be around, even though you know that they negatively impact you. Is that speaking to anybody? All right, listen. Not only your physical health, you get to get that in order, and that's foundational. You also get to have your spiritual health in order, right? Whatever that is for you. For me, that's God. You get to have that connection. Build that connection. Do your meditation, do your prayers, do your journaling, do the things that you need to do so that you are close to whatever spiritual source is important to you. Because as all of this goes even more nuts in the world, that connection is going to help keep you centered. So we've talked about physical, we've talked about your spiritual, financial. Get your financial house in order as best you can. Do what needs to be done. Ask yourself some tough questions, right? And look, you can. There's tons of opportunity in this world. There's tons of opportunity in this world. I don't care where you are. Businesses were built like crazy during the shutdown. People who'd never even thought about building a business built businesses during the shutdown, and they're doing well. So, yes, is it time consuming? Might it mean doing some things when historically you've done fun things and you're now doing something else? Yes. And this is up to you. Again, no one's coming to save you. All right. So we've talked about physical, we've talked about mental, we've talked about spiritual, we've talked about emotional. What about relational? What are the relationships that you really need to lean in on? And what are the relationships that you need to lean out on? And I'm talking intimate relationships, I'm talking friends, family, community, work, etc. And listen, do some work to learn more about how you're operating. I'm certified in two assessments that are very different. One is DISC and one is Colby. Um, DISC looks at things from an emotive side, and Colby looks at things from a cognitive side. Your way of doing things versus your way of feeling and emotionally experiencing things. Right. Um, Two very different complementary assessments that I do with my clients. Sometimes I do them with my one-on-one clients, and I also do trainings on these in with my corporate clients. The other thing to do is really invest in learning power skills. And if you go onto my YouTube channel, you'll find a whole list of videos that I've done over time that are all about, some of the top power skills that people need to be leaning into for their self-leadership, for their personal leadership, right? You need to know how to have difficult conversations. You need to understand emotional intelligence. And by the way, people talk about emotional intelligence and it's important. What's more important is the AQ, your adaptability quotient, your resiliency, right? Because this world is changing fast. I mean, think about how quickly the whole AI thing, artificial intelligence thing has been shifting this year. You get to be resilient. Lean into that. Learn more about power skills, right? And lastly, learn to ask better questions. Ask yourself better questions. Listen, so often the questions that we ask ourselves are from a negative perspective. Guess what you're going to get when you ask questions from a negative perspective? You're going to get a negative response. That's no fun. That's not helpful. So, what can you do to shift your questions? What kind of community can you be in order to make sure that you are surrounded with people who can lift you up, who can believe in your goals and your dreams? Because listen, the vast majority of people out there, if you start talking big dreams, big goals, they are going to laugh at you. They're going to call you a dreamer. They're going to tell you that you have no business doing XYZ. And I'm here to tell you, you absolutely are here to do those things. You were created to be a creator. You were created with purpose. You were created with gifts and talents. And if you don't use those gifts and talents, they are going to go to waste. One of my favorite things that I heard Les Brown say the first time I heard him speak in person, he was talking about one of the richest plots of real estate on the face of the earth are cemeteries. And that is because there are so many ideas that have yet to be implemented that died with the people who were buried there. Multi-million, billion, maybe even trillion-dollar ideas that died with the people. And those things will never be seen on the face of earth. because the people operated from a place of fear. They didn't write the book. They didn't give the speech. They didn't ask out or speak to the person of their dreams. They didn't ask for the raise. They didn't ask for the job because they were afraid, right? Don't be afraid. Here's what I want you to do. If this is something that interests you, I have a free group that I would love for you to be a part of. It's called What If? And inside What If, we're asking a lot of those what if questions, but from a place we're learning how to ask that question from a supportive and positive angle. Okay. So I want you to comment below or send me a DM on whichever platform that you're on. You can just put the words what if in the comments or send me a DM with the words what if. And my team and I will get you the information so that you can join the free group What If? What If? And I was inspired by a song to create this group. I mean, my clients and everything, yes, obviously inspire me to do this. And the people that I talk to, you inspire me. You listening to this, watching this, inspire me to do things like starting this group called What If. And there is a song by Matthew West. And it says, "What if today's the only day I've got?" Right? What if it's my last shot? Well, what if today's your last shot? What if this week is your last shot? What if this year is your last shot? Could be. We're not promised tomorrow, right? So I want to help you make the most of what you have right now. And I want to help you make the most of your dreams and goals. And join me inside What If. Just put the words what if in the comments below or to the side or wherever it is here where you're watching, or send me a DM on whichever platform that you're watching, whether that's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. And just say what if, and we will get you the information to join. I can't wait to have you inside the group. We're just getting things going. It's a small group right now, and I know that it is going to grow over time because people like you that are wanting to make a difference in life, that are wanting to lean against this billion and trillions of seconds and dollars that somebody's going to have to pay for at some point. And we're all going to go through it. Let's go through it with a group of people who are keeping the perspective focused in the right area, right? All right. I can't wait to see you inside What If. I can't wait to see your comments and your DMs and inside the group. All right. Have a fantastic Wednesday. I can't wait to see you on the next live show. And if there's anything I can do for you in between now and then, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a fantastic day.